in view of the significant residents' concerns, to work directly with 2 Degrees to identify further potential alternative sites and an alternative to the options adjacent to 142 Stanmore Bay Road.
Yeah.
So I'm foreshadowing that is if this application, this motion is lost, and the motion to decline is approved, that is going to be the follow-up foreshadowed motion I'm going to move.
Okay.
Sorry, do we have any further discussion?
No, you're just speaking to the motion.
The original motion.
Just
you don't understand the orders. You actually, I have the right to foreshadow an action, and we don't discuss this until we have dealt with the motion that's on the floor. Do the mover or the seconder, would you like to speak to your motion?
It's an unfortunate situation that we're in, and while it would have been nice to have been technically absent, so it's not to have on this matter. It's we're elected to make a decision. We look after parks, we look after people. On the basis of what's before us, the effects are more than minor, and I can't, in all conscience, agree to putting a cell phone tower on that reserve in that position. I do believe that we have evidence that the company has looked at other alternatives, and I'm not sure that we can continue endlessly asking either 2 Degrees or any other telco plus our staff to keep looking for a solution. I think we have to trust that they will make best endeavours, and I do believe that our staff in this instance have got our assets and our community's well-being, and they have the best of intentions. So I don't think anyone has an agenda here. We've got to make an unpleasant decision. It's not going to make the residents of Stanmore Bay Road happy, and whether it's an election year or not, I don't think my decision would have been any different on the basis of what's in front of us. And the decision is on the information. It's not a personal decision against any one of the submitters. This is just an unfortunate situation, and I actually commend 2 Degrees. They've gone above and beyond, and I have to say that in the same situation I'd have probably chickened out and just stuck it where I could. So I think well done to them for looking. If there is genuinely somewhere they haven't looked, then of course I'd support them trying to find a solution. But I think we've heard that this has been a very long and drawn out process, and our community, while they may not be grateful for what it ends up, will be grateful that they have at least tried and they have been open and honest with them, and I believe our parks officers have worked in our community's interests. So I'm happy to, not happy to, I'm prepared to move this resolution, and I actually thought by being a member of the East Coast Bay subdivision it made it easier for our Hibiscus Coast subdivision members, because I understand it's far more difficult when you mention these people in the supermarket on a daily basis or whatever. So that's my reason. It's not, I'm not telling you how to suck eggs. I'm just saying we're here to make a decision, and we have got the interests of all of our community at heart.
Would you like to say anything?
If we make this decision in the absence of any reference to Stanmore Bay Road in 122, and has 2 Degrees come with this application or request late last year, it would be a entirely different discussion, and I think we would have made a decision a week or hours ago. So, and that is the only context you can look at it, unfortunately. And I'm one of the process, and unfortunately it is the process we've got to follow. And I will certainly support your foreshadow motion, not that I think we've heard tonight that there is no other option. But in terms of what we're being asked to do tonight is to consider this application, and so I will support the motion.
Any further speakers? Gary?
I just, on the third one that you brought forward, I totally support, and I'd just like to think that 2 Degrees is in their best interest and to have good public relations as a business to look at those other options and work with the staff that I think are there, and I'd like to see that. I support that.
Greg?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Just important because it affects, as we heard from public forum, it affects property values, it's affecting potentially health, and it's affecting the visual pollution of the area. It's also, a number of the members don't know that there were 7 cell sites planned for tonight. Also, we've heard alluded that there could be, with the sites that are there, more sites going in. So, as an advocate for my community there, I can just see proliferation of these things going on, which is a concern for the proposal I just talked about. I still don't understand the exact, I haven't seen the map of the exact coverage area we're talking about. We've talked about the basin, the whole area here. I haven't seen something quantitative about these umbrellas overlapping, so I'm not quite sure about the whole area. It's not driven. I couldn't really sell something for you, even from the resident, we've still got coverage there. So it just goes as a question mark, and we didn't have the engineer here tonight from 2 degrees, which I found a little bit disappointing to answer that question. I'll elaborate on a little bit further. And also, 2 degrees has its existing contract with Vodafone and other providers. We don't know because we've been held commercially sensitive reasons, when those will expire, so we don't really know the time pressures. We don't know if it could be 10 years, 5 years, we've got no idea of this. I find that a bit of a vacuum to work in. My preference along those lines would be that 2 degrees would continue to negotiate with those current providers and work out some sort of commercial arrangement with them, so we don't end up with all these more cell phone towers, which has really spooked me tonight. Just, not just you guys, but the other providers as well that you talked about. Just upsets me in terms of the damage it could do to our communities. So I know that we're talking about the angle here tonight, it's about affected parties only, but mine needs to be a conscious vote tonight about being a community advocate. We've been reminded about that. So, because of the scope of the report, which I've just talked about, my disappointment, narrowness of the decision making that we make tonight, I can't really support any towers. I'm not happy with either side. So I'd like to, in terms of your shadow motion, Madam Chair, that maybe it's expanded in terms of 2 degrees of considering alternative sites, e.g. placemakers being alluded to, or 2 degrees for goes coverage in that area. I'd like to see them make it that.
Madam Chair, it's great that we seem to have a consensus, and it's great that we've had this conversation, but really in part C, you're asking us to crystal ball onto what 2 degrees should be doing, what residents should be doing, when we should actually be leading this. I think that this is a cop-out that we're going to do both A, B and C. Now,
Can I just say there is no C, excuse me, there is no C, it's just a foreshadowed motion, and you really are to speak to A and B at this point.
Well, I'm disappointed, and I'm really disappointed that we haven't been able to make a unanimous decision, and I think that with, Councillor Walker, I've never agreed with him on anything. But his elegant advice is, I think we've just done that particular community a service, and I know the arguments about commercial sensitivity, I know about 2 degree. I wrote the report back to this local board and gave some options. I think in the end I gave 7 options, and Stan did suggest leisure centre, and that was kept to touch. But I'm really disappointed for that precinct, for that community, that they're not able to make, well, not only get support from this local board, but go through and make submissions either for or against the resource consent. And I know it's only affected parties, but that's where I am. So I'll be voting against this.
Everyone seems to be talking to this motion. I'm just going to support A and B, and I actually believe that the company should have given more guidance. If it wanted it to be notified, it should have mentioned it. I cannot say that they have hand on heart, possibly our There's a palm tree at another site. Why do I know? Because I have my partner in very early times, so he doesn't do any telecommunications work now, did a number of applications where they looked at very lateral solutions that were sympathetic to communities. And if we're going to have a proliferation of these towers, and if 4G, which it sounds like a whole new era, is going to mean that all the telcos are then going to come up, and every corner, street corner is going to have one, we've got to think of a better way. And maybe 2 degrees can lead the way as a new company.
Look, Madam Chair, let's get back to the business. That's not what this report is about. This report is about our landowner consent for a simple request and a recommendation.
That's why I'm supporting it.
We're looking into the future and crystal balling all over.
Right. Now, put the motion there. Would you like the right of reply? No? Put the motion. All those in favour? Aye. Against?
Madam Chair, I would like to report my reasons and I'll email them through to us.
We can't, under standing orders, put our reasons, but we can clearly vote against. Right. Now, and you like to vote against? Abstain. Right. Does anyone else like to record? Right. So I declare that carried. I'm now going to move to C, that the Hibiscus and Bays Local Board instruct the council officers in view of the significant resident concerns to work directly with 2 degrees to identify further potential alternative sites and an alternative to the option adjacent to 142 Stanmore Bay Road. Seconded by Gay.
Put the motion, just support it.
Madam Chair, can I ask you to read that again?
You've abstained, can you do
Right.
C as well?
Of course you can. The Hibiscus and Bays Local Board instruct the council officers, in view of the significant resident concerns, to work directly with 2 degrees to identify further potential alternative sites and alternative options, because they might choose to do something unlike this power, to the option adjacent to 142 Stanmore Bay. It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? Yes?
In terms of the option of the recycling, appropriate alternative, can we add something in there along the lines of our recommendations that cover the 2 degrees coverage of that area as well?
We don't have the right as a company, it's its own decision to decide what they do next. Right, so there's no further discussion. I'll put the motion. All those in favour? Aye. Against? Carried.
No, you can't do this, that's fine.
Otherwise we need to let.
I know, you can't do this, it's fine. 10:30, it's it.
Okay. Look, I think that we can if there's a will, and I'm going to
Madam
move.
Chair, you can't understand rules.
Can I just say, regularly the Kaipatiki local board, I am told, go to